The next one will be Gopal Iyer, Globalization, Political Economy of Agriculture and Land Rights in Culture.
So, my paper is in 4 parts. The first part I discuss about the impact of globalization on the agrarian reforms in India. And in the second, I speak on the impact of globalization on agrarian crisis in India. And then the third is its implications on the different social categories of the people and farmers, agricultural laborers and things like that. And the last is my conclusion. And therefore, as an introductory thing, I would like to say a few words about how this neoliberal economy has impacted the agrarian reforms in India. The agrarian economy today can be characterized as peasant economy superimposed by globalization and market-led agrarian reforms. Because you see, before the globalization era, we had the state-led agrarian reforms. So that was been replaced by market-led agrarian reform. So market-led agrarian reform is premised on 2 assumptions: that land is principally an economic resource, and that markets are institutions in which participants are equal. So this is a faulty assumption. In this light, it is suggested that agrarian political economy offers an understanding of the process surrounding and subsuming by land transfer that are predicted on the socially embedded character of such transfers, especially through the concept of enclosure. The market-led agrarian reforms seeks to replace previous state-led land and agrarian reforms efforts with a willing buyer-seller model in which market-facilitated and price-medicated transactions are undertaken to generate improvements in economic efficiency and social welfare. So, and therefore the state was withdrawing from its important role of implementing the agrarian reforms in India, and so also it has been in other parts of the world. And therefore, the peasantry has not been taking line low to it, and therefore there has been almost a kind of convergence between globalization and agrarian reforms from below in India, because there has been strong protest movements, both of the radical kind and that also of the Gandhian peaceful kind in India throughout. And so we will find that particularly, you see, the imposition of the globalization, since I am a sociologist, I would emphasize on 2 important social categories which also has class implications. One is caste and the other is tribal. The scheduled caste, you see, they are one of the most deprived categories in India. So this category you do not have in many other parts of the world. And because the lower the caste status, lower the caste status, and therefore there is convergence at the lowest level, and the lowest placed castes are scheduled castes, and therefore you can call them also as a proletarian caste. They are the worst affected in terms of landlessness, and therefore there is caste cross correlation as far as the scheduled caste is concerned. Similarly, we have indigenous category of people. These indigenous category of people, they are called tribals. Just as you have got indigenous category of people in different parts of the world, they constitute nearly 8% of the total population in India. And is 8%, you see, they have been historically condemned, both during the colonial period, British colonial period, and during the post-colonial period. And for the indigenous people, land and forests were the twin plinth of their economy. And the British rule, they grabbed their land, they grabbed their communal property of ownership, they grabbed their forest rights, they grabbed their community rights. And therefore, there were very serious tribal agrarian movements during the colonial period, and that was also repeated during the post-colonial period, that is during the liberalization era. And so this took place from one end of the country to the other, wherever you had the tribal population. And as a result, due to the continuous struggle which started almost from 1991-92 until, you see, 2005-6, these struggles continued, you see, unabated. So on the one hand, the tribal autonomous movement was there. On the other hand, Gandhian peasant movement was there. And on the third hand, you had the Maoist movement. And therefore, in most of these indigenous parts, you have the strong radical Maoist movement present in India who were fighting on the land and forest basis. And so these were continuous. And therefore, that was almost, this was simultaneous along with the liberalization era. And so, towards 2005 and 2006, the government of India had to enact a legislation in favor of the tribals, in favor of the indigenous people, which was called as the Forest Rights of 2006. And this Forest Rights of 2006 recognizes in the preamble that a historical mistake has been committed with the indigenous people of India and with the tribal people of India. And so that was a great victory as far as the land issue is concerned. And therefore, the movement from below, they forced the state to take action in favor of the poor people, in favor of the indigenous people, in favor of the tribal caste and things of this kind. And therefore, this is one aspect which I wanted to mention, that the globalization has converged along with the radical agrarian movement, with the radical legal movement, and also with the autonomous tribal movements and the Gandhian-based movement. These have been simultaneous during last 10 to 15 years, and therefore this has been one of the very, very significant features. But the other adverse question is, so now I talk about the agrarian crisis. You see, there has been a kind of convergence of globalization, liberalization, along with the agrarian crisis in the most agriculturally advanced pockets of India, like Punjab, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka. In all these places, you see, you had agrarian crisis, and these agrarian crisis, because of this agrarian crisis, there were farmer suicides in different parts of the country. And so the farmer suicides took place in Punjab, it took place in Andhra Pradesh, it took place in Karnataka, it took place in Kerala, and you see, in all these places. And therefore there has been this convergence that the globalization and liberalization led to the agrarian crisis. And as a result of this agrarian crisis, you see, there have been no scientific data as far as the number of rural suicides, which I call them as rural suicides, many call them as farmer suicides, because not only the farmers committed suicide, but it is also the agricultural laborers, you see, who committed suicide. And therefore the exact number is not known of the farmers who have committed suicide, but the national crime data says that 2.5 lakh rural suicides have taken place during the course of last 15-20 years in the country, and there are these 3-4 states where the incidence is very, very high. And I would reflect more on Punjab because we are in Patiala University and it is located in Punjab. And so, you see, in Punjab, census counts have been done of the rural suicides which have taken place in different parts of Punjab. There are 3 universities, including the Patiala University, the Amritsar University, and the Punjab Agriculture University. They have gone for the census count. And according to these census counts, there have been nearly 7,000 suicide cases in Punjab. And out of these 7,000 suicide cases, 43% suicides is by agricultural laborers, and the remaining 57% suicide is by farmers. And so this particular point I want to emphasize, because among the farmers, those who have been most vulnerable are the small farmers, marginal farmers, and agricultural laborers. So these have been the most vulnerable categories. And since I am a sociologist, I consider them as very vulnerable sociological categories. And so what happens is that you see the male commits suicide, but it is the females you see who have to bear the brunt of the family, and they serve as the meal ticket, and then most of them are widows. And so the process of uprising, proletarianization process is going on. They are illiterate people. They also don't know how to manage the economy, and therefore you see the widows, they have become more vulnerable. And therefore the four categories which became vulnerable are marginal farmers, small farmers, agricultural laborers, and these widow women. Now this different states have given compensation to the farmers ranging from 1 lakh to 3 lakh rupees. Punjab government has given concession of rupees 3 lakhs. So I would, in the end, I would conclude by saying that you see, as far as agricultural laborers are concerned, for them land rights is the basic question. And so the land rights has gone into the background. It is an unfinished agrarian reform in India, and in states like Punjab, which is one of the worst, where agrarian reform has been very, very weakly implemented. So I have done an empirical study, and in this empirical study I am suggesting that you see in Punjab, of course, land ceiling has been a complete failure, but then we have got a chunk of land which was earlier called central government land, and now you see it has been transferred to Punjab government. So you have considerable area of Punjab government land, central government land, and there is a category of land which is called as Shamlat land. It is nearly 2.5 lakh acres. And so according to my statistics, there are nearly 4.5 lakh acres of land which is available in Punjab, which can be distributed to agricultural laborers. And therefore, I would like to draw the attention of Government of India and also the Punjab government that they should introduce it as a policy measure to take to see this distribution of land to the agricultural laborers, and that solution I will also prescribe to other states in India. And it's a good thing that you see the Government of India during the last government, they had prescribed an all India land reforms policy in which they had said that at least 10 cents of land should be given to each of the houseless families, and then at least 2 acres of land should be given to each of the landlords. And therefore this land reform is still an agenda which is unfinished agenda, and the role of the state is to intervene.
Thank you so much for your contribution. The next one